everyone, good day. My name is Zenaida and I am so happy to be on this space once again. I want to tender my deepest and sincerest apology to all my lovely subscribers. I'm so sorry for not being consistent on this space. It's actually due to work, and I'm trusting God and I'm going to get better, become more consistent here, dishing out more content. But thank you nonetheless for sticking by, staying with me. I am most grateful. So today we're going to be talking I'm going to be talking to parents, but before we get into the video, if you're new here, welcome. Please, if you have not subscribed, whether new or old, please click on the subscribe button, click on it, and like the video, watch it to the end, share it if you can. That is the way that you can support me, and I'll be utterly grateful to you. So let's get into today's video. So welcome back everyone, welcome back. Today's video is for parents. It's for parents, it's for people who are trusting God to be parents soon, who want to be parents. This video is for you, okay? And today I just want to encourage parents out there. I want to encourage you. Parenting is not an easy job. It is not easy, okay? It can be tough, it can be challenging. It requires a lot of patience, it requires a lot of time. You need to give yourself some grace. Sometimes you need to tap yourself on your back and tell yourself, I am doing well as a parent, because sometimes it can be overwhelming, okay? It is a job that doesn't have any time frame to it, from morning to night, from Mondays to Sundays, in the morning, in the night. You are a parent, okay? Once you become a parent, there's no turning back. All right. So parenting is not it's not child's play, it's not beans, like Nigerians would say, okay? Parenting can be really tasking and actually entails a lot. So today I just want to encourage my parents, and I want to talk about how we should take it easy on ourselves, okay? Stop overworking yourself, stop overthinking things, stop over stressing yourself over some things, over different phases in your child's life, okay? Stop overthinking, stop overstressing. It's not worth it. All right. Okay, so let me start by saying that different children have different personalities. All right, we need to understand that different children have different personalities. Every child is not the same, every child cannot be the same. Every child has their own unique personality. Some children have their preferences. All right, so you see a child who likes to eat, let me say, rice, and another child who hates to eat rice. Okay, nobody taught them these things. It's just their preference. Okay, and then you see some mothers, you see some parents worrying, killing themselves. My child is not eating rice. My child is not eating beans. My child doesn't eat egg. You'll be stressing, killing yourself, doing this. There's some parents who even go and they'll hide the egg inside. They'll hide egg inside. How do they do it? They just find a way of hiding these things, inside the child's meal, because they are worried. They want the child to have good amount of protein intake, and because the child is not taking in enough protein, they feel they just want to kind of infuse all these things into the child's meal, right? And some people take it really far. They take this thing really far. They really overstress themselves for almost nothing. Okay, so today I just want to encourage you. If you fall under any of this category, oh, my child cries too much, oh, my child throws a lot of tantrums, oh, my child is too energetic, this energetic one, this one is for me, right? This hyperactivity and energy. My son, I have a son, right? And he's 3 plus, going to 4. Okay, and I remember when I first took him to school, right? Of course, from home I already noticed that my child was energetic. Now you will know, as a mother, you will know your child, Avi. So my child was always energetic and full of energy, full of life. Like, my child is that child that you take somewhere to a strange place and he doesn't even wait to boot or to observe the territory or to know all those things. My son is, some mothers will be like, no, this one is you. This your child is too quiet. Or that this one quiet. At home. So it's a noisemaker. It's not my son. My son is not on that table at all. My son will show himself. Like, we enter the place, we scatter the place. Like, whether it is a new place, it is a old zone, whatever the place is, wherever you're taking him to, he just has that. He will just show himself. He's full of life, okay, and full of energy, right? And I remember back then it kind of used to bother me, right? Because I remember I would take him to school when he started school. Like, the first few months, not weeks, months, the teacher will always be like, ma, your son doesn't sit down in class. I say, why does my son not sit down in class now? Why does he not sit down? I was becoming worried about it, because he doesn't sit down. Like, he will enter the class. In fact, if you see the way my son used to enter his class, hey, it's an entrance. He will just run into the class. He will run like this, like Batman, run to the end of the class, hug the teacher first, and he will run around his classroom like 2 times, shaking his class. It's just, just a bubbly young man, and when the teacher started to complain, telling me that, your son doesn't sit down, your son is always moving, your son in the classroom doesn't sit down, just, telling me, this your son doesn't sit down, he doesn't. I know that if not that the teacher is a staff, and they're paying the teacher salaries, I'm like, madam, this your son, the energy too much. That kind of thing. But of course, they will just find a nice way to tell you that this your son is stopping us in this school. But jokes aside, that actually, started to bother me, because everybody wants children that are, quiet, well behaved, thank you, Lord Jesus, holy, sanctimonious, because nobody wants trouble, and nobody wants wahala, nobody wants energy, too much energy, right? You just want your child to go to school, sit down, teacher says, oh, my son is obedient, my son is this, my son is that. That's what we want as parents, right? But when the teachers were not telling me, your son is energetic, your son doesn't sit down, your son doesn't, he's always playing, he's always, say, God, I thank God, that at least he was not doing badly, in the academics. They would say, he's trying, he's doing well, and I knew that he was doing well, of course. But he was very energetic, and that part actually, started to trouble me, for some time, right? And I had to tell myself the truth. Okay, I had to ask some questions. Okay, what are you doing wrong? Are you doing anything wrong? Are you the one that gave this boy this energy? The answer is no. But the answer was no. I'm not the one that put this energy inside this child. I'm not the one that that is his personality. Okay, and I'll be doing myself and my child a disservice by quenching that personality, that aspect of his life. Okay, God is the one that put that energy in that child. That is what I came to realize and understand. God put that energy in him for a reason. So my job as a parent is not to switch that part of his life off. Okay, it's not to pour so much water on it to the point where he loses that part of himself. Okay, it is for me to be able to guide him, direct him, train him in a way such that he's able to channel that energy correctly or in the right way. That is my job as a parent. It is not to switch off the energy of my son. Every time that part of him comes up, and I'll just suppress it, and at the end of the day, he has lost that aspect of his personality. All right, energy can be a good thing if it is channeled well, channeled correctly, right? And I had to learn that this is a child. A child is a child. Let's stop trying to make children adults. Okay, I'm not in any way saying that you should not groom your child, you shouldn't train your child. Do all that, dot all the I's, cross all your T's. I do that. Okay, I always make sure that I'm doing my part, I'm doing my best, I'm training this child. I am, myself and my husband, are doing our job as parents. Okay, but there are elements, there are aspects to these children that we should be careful, so that we don't drown that aspect of their lives. All right, as they grow older, of course, you teach them, you train them, you teach them how to, begin to manage that aspect of their life, not to completely, quench that part of them. And these things that I'm saying, they are things that bother a lot of parents, especially mothers, right? They tend to bother us, right? Why is he not? Why won't he nap in the afternoon? Some people say, "Oh, great, my son, off the light." So except you don't have anything to do. You every time be offing the light and go out in the afternoon and go and be, "Oh, yeah, sleep, 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 sleep." My son does not. Even when you do that, he will laugh. Sometimes you start laughing. You'll be like, I thought you're already sleeping. No, no, he's not sleeping. He's there waiting for you to finish. When you sleep, he'll continue. So there are children like that. They're full of life and energy, right? And even in school, I remember when sometimes I'll go to pick my son from school, and when get into the classroom, or before I get into the classroom, I used to peep. So some days I used to meet them taking their siesta, like their afternoon, their nap in the afternoon. So I will usually peep through the window just to check out, what's going on before I enter the class. Check my son out. Every child is sleeping. Every child, I'm not kidding. Every child is sleeping. My son, I'm sure they must have forced him and threatened him to keep him lying still on that bed. He'll just lie down there like this, and he'll be opening his eyes, be playing with his hands. He'll just be doing something shy or play with a toy. He shall be busy with something. Do you understand? But sleeping, nah, he's not sleeping. I don't know what the teachers tell him that make him to even lie down and stay one place, But he will not sleep in the afternoon. So some of these things, become a problem to parents. Parents begin to, complain about it. But one thing I always ask myself, is this thing detrimental to the child? Is it causing this child any harm? Is it causing someone else any harm, right? And is it affecting his glorious destiny? No, right? These are just phases, and this is something we need to understand. Every child, children have their phases, they have their stages. I mean, I'm just talking about toddler phase, right? There's after the toddler phase, there's adolescent. There are different phases in the life of every child, and as parents, we have to be careful that we are not, overthinking things. We're not worrying. So for some parents, for me, it was, over the energy. For some parents, is that their children are not eating. Some people will go to all the whole pediatrician. They'll give their children all the boosters, all the what you call it, multivitamins to boost appetite, all those things. They'll keep heaping and giving the children, and at the end of the day, nothing is still working. The child is still not eating. Give them time. That is what I want to tell you today. Give them time. These are phases, and as they grow, some of these things change. Okay, so for example, you can see an energetic child when they are young. When they grow older, maybe either the parent has helped them, to manage that aspect. They now know how to control their energy, or they completely become, very calm and quiet, and in one place, introverts completely. In fact, when you're a child, this is why grandparents, you hear people say things like, grandparents are very soft to children. They're soft to children. Most grandparents are like that, right? And I feel like it's because they've been there, they've done that. That's what I feel. That's what I think. When somebody has been there, when they've done that over and over again, they'll be like, take chill, calm down. Top over expecting premium, excellent, outstanding, perfect behavior from your kids or from your child. Let them grow. Remember, there's time for them to grow and to be nurtured, to teach them and to train them. Even the Apostle Paul said, when I was a child, I thought like a child, I behaved like a child. All right, so children will be children. Okay, no matter how much you train them, that's what I'm trying to say. No matter how much you discipline them, no matter how much you want them to look perfect, or you want them, and a lot of times parents actually want their children to look perfect because of our own egos. So outside, we want them to look, this child is the most quiet child. Oh, this child is most, because those things, just, yes, you're doing a good job as a parent. It's just feeding your ego, right? And sometimes because you want to be perceived as that kind of parent, you end up killing, or not killing. You end up, just silencing a child completely, stripping them of their personalities, stripping them of, those unique things about them. You just strip them of those things because of your own ego, to be seen as a perfect parent. So we need to be careful in this parenting thing. God will help us. So for some parents it may be growth patterns, right? Growth patterns, I mean, like the time it takes for your child to talk, the time it takes for your child to walk, your child is not sitting. Some of these things, these milestones, sometimes they affect some of us as parents, right? But I want you to understand something. Some of these things are beyond your control, so stop worrying about them, right? Some of them are actually beyond your control. For example, okay, teething. Your child has also teething. Your child. Okay, so what you want to do? What can you do to remove the teeth from your child's mouth? The time the child will teeth eventually. I know that sometimes you can be worrisome, but I'm talking of even 2 3 months grace. Some people will start running to the hospital, start doing all sorts of things already, even walking. I remember my son, because he didn't start talking, very, very early. Some children from 1 year, 6 months are already talking. I think my son started talking like around when he was getting to 2. In fact, now I'm tired. He's always talking. For months, when he wakes up to when he sleeps, his mouth is literally always moving. No jokes, no cap. He's always talking. And I remember then, my mother-in-law was like, it's because you people give him pacifier. He gives me. I did not even use pacifier. Like my son rejected pacifier. I think it was just the week, I believe 2 weeks she came. That very first stage when he was a baby, I just used. But after a while, he was spitting out the pacifier. So my son didn't even use pacifier, interestingly. But because when she was around, she saw that okay, once in a while, I used to use pacifier for him. So she just felt like pacifier, that kind of thing. So when he was like going up past 1 year 6 months, he wasn't yet talking, he was just blabbing and everything. She was like, why is he not talking? She will call, he's not yet talking, it's because of that pacifier you put used. And also I'm like, which one is pacifier? Mama, mommy. It's not pacifier, it's going to talk, and at some point, because of the way she was always complaining about the thing, even more than me, she was even worried about the thing more than me. I was like, are you sure this boy is okay? It's not as if he was blabbing. It's not as if he was not saying he was dumb, but he wasn't saying anything. He was making sounds and everything, but not just because he wasn't talking yet. So but thank God I did not fall under the pressure. I wasn't worried. I knew he will talk. It's normal. It's just face. So after a while, like I think when he was like almost 2, he started to talk. Small, 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 small. He started to talk more, and now he's like a singing bird. He's always talking in the house. So my point is, learn to give these kids grace. Learn to give them grace. Sometimes the pressure may not even be from you. The worrying may not even be coming from you. It may be coming from maybe a family member, a friend, and somehow because they are worried about it, they kind of transfer that worry to you, and you too then you start to get worried. Okay, but I want to just reassure you that these are phases. Understand, learn that these are phases. These phases will pass. Okay, they don't stay forever. Maximum 6 months. Even parents who their children don't eat different kinds of food, they're anxious, worried. There's no need. If it is one food that your child likes at that stage, give them that food. Let them eat it well. Try once in a while. Explore other things just to see, but ensure that you're not beating yourself over it. You're not getting worried about it, because your worry, as incredible as it may be, it doesn't solve any problem. Okay, instead you ask, okay, how can I make it better? Is this something that is within my control? Is it something that I can influence in one way or the other? If it is not something you can control or something you can influence, then forget it. Just leave it to God. If you're so worried about it, take it to prayer to God. Lord, this is, please come through. This is it, please come through. And trust that God would help you. Parenting is no easy job. So I want to encourage every parent out there, well done. First of all, once in a while, tap yourself on your back and tell yourself you're doing a good job, because it is not easy. All right, well done, well done, well done, well done. Keep doing the great job you're doing. God gave you your child because He knows that you are the perfect person, who can guide that child, train that child, raise that child, to become what God made them to be. Okay, and that was why God sent them to you. So that is your ministry, part of your ministry, very important one. And God makes no mistakes. He knows why He sent that child to you. All right, so you need to see your role, you need to step into your role, and you need to make sure that as you go about in your role, in your duty, in your task and your assignment, you are not over worrying, you're not beating yourself. Children can make us worried, right? But make sure that you're not over beating yourself. Make sure you're giving your own self grace. Make sure you're telling yourself, well done. And I pray that God will give you the strength and give you the wisdom, give all of us the wisdom and the strength that we need to get it right in this parenting thing. Okay, God bless you. Also, if you are not yet a parent, you're trusting God to be one, and pray that God will perfect it for you. Much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you for staying till the end. I hope you learned one or two things in this video. So I'll call it a day. This seems to be like a long video. I've been talking for quite some time now. So thank you so much for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one. If you have not subscribed, now is the perfect time to do so. Subscribe, click the subscribe button, like the video, drop a comment. So many of you are doing me ghost mode. It's not good though. Drop a comment, just say something you learned, say something you would love to share. Thank you so much. I appreciate. Take care of yourself. See you in the next video. Bye.